Guys and girls, I'm back at Into Moto in Warrington, and today I'm taking a Japanese scooter out. So it's the Honda PCX125. Looks pretty nice, to be fair. It's a 2-year-old bike, but it's got very little mileage. So it's used, but barely. We'll have a walk around the bike, usual way. I'll throw some specifications as we're going. I'll let you know all the details about the bike, and if you've got any questions, pop it in the comments for me and I'll see what I can do. Let's start with the full walk round. So this is a very modern looking scooter. Would you class it as a maxi scooter? It doesn't have the step through. You can just see it's lowered a little bit before the seat, but you can't go all the way through. So no room for a shopping bag. But I do like the look of this bike. You can see it's on a 22 plate, so it is 2 years old, this bike. But believe it or not, it's got less than 400 miles on the clock. That is shocking. So someone's had it for a couple of years, just not used it, or very little use. Now the bonus for anybody who's going to buy the bike, it's pretty much like a brand new bike. This, it is absolutely gleaming. There's no scuffs or anything that I can see. It does look like a brand new showroom condition bike. Even sporting the L plates, ready for somebody in the UK who is 17 years or older that has done their CBT. They can just jump straight on. Now, as always, when you've got something like a Honda, they do go with the premium parts. So it does have a Nissan twin pot caliper on the single disc at the front, and it looks like it's got a rear drum brake. Some nice aluminium wheels, aluminum, depending where you're from and if you speak English or not. Standard exhaust on this, it's not been messed with, and if you have a look down there you can see it is just as new, spotless. I do like when they try and do something flashy with the rear pegs. Nicely hidden. Doesn't go all the way through, but you've got a nice place there to grab on at the back if you are a pillion. Buttons wise, yeah, it's a scooter, so not a lot to speak of. You have got your indicator, horn, high and low beam. That's all for the left hand side. Right hand side, you've got your engine start, you've got your hazard lights, and there is an auto stop start. This bike is keyless. It has got a key fob. You've got to be within a metre or so of the bike for it to come alive. But when you are riding, if you stop at traffic lights, the engine will just cut out on you, just a bit of fuel saving. It's been argued before, 125s don't use a lot of fuel, why does it have a auto stop start? Well, yeah, they don't use a lot of fuel, but you can also save a little bit more. So I see a point to it. You're going to save a little bit of money. Any saving is a good saving. This will take 8.1 litres of fuel, so as a 125, plenty of miles for that. The seat height on this is actually really low, 764 millimeters, so it will suit the shorter rider. So what we've got is a 125cc liquid cooled engine that has a belt drive. The official weight on this is 130 kilograms. Okay, whoa, that is a lot of storage under there. Now I can see already a full face helmet's going to fit in there. Then you've still got extra room. I don't think you're going to get 2 full face helmets in, but you are going to get 1. However, you nip to the shops, that's a couple of shopping bags. That's impressive, I like that. Easy shut. And your fuel tank. Yeah, I don't know why. For me, that's just another thing. I mean, it's a nice little locking mechanism. I like how it pops up, but is it really needed? I don't know. What I do like though is for security, that will only open if you've got the key fob with you. So yeah, I do see the benefits to that. Into Moto are selling this bike currently for £3,099. Now, as I always say, as far as a used bike bargain goes, aesthetically looks brilliant, looks like a brand new bike. So on the face of it, it's a big saving off the new price. But the only way I can confirm that is to go for a ride. Let's see how it performs, let's see what the comfort's like. Let's go for a ride. Bike up and running. You can hear it's just a classic scooter noise. It's not particularly offensive, it's actually quite a quiet exhaust. Now this bike has only just come into moto, so the guys in the workshop have gone round it and just made sure it was all right for me. So it stops and starts as it should. However, I think the battery is a little bit low, so the battery lights come on, but it's still running, so I'm going to give it a go and see. Whatever, if there is any issues with this bike before it goes out, it will all get sorted. I should imagine once it's been ridden for a while, that battery light should come off anyway. So I went through the buttons. There's our screen. So you've got a nice digital screen. It's really nice. It's like a matte finish the way it is. It's quite a dull thing, so it's not shining brightly in your face, but you can see the speedo, you can see the fuel gauge across the bottom. It does have your average MPG on there as well, and you've got total miles, so you can see it's got 392 miles. 2-year-old bike, barely used. You've got a clock, and looking at that, out of those 392 miles, it's been averaging 146 miles to the gallon. That is phenomenal. That can't be right, can it? Let's take it for a spin. First of all, the cobble test. It's doing a decent job on these here cobbles. It's a comfortable place to sit. No issues with the comfort. The suspension is soaking up those cobbles nicely. Really comfortable actually at slow speed. Really well balanced, I like that. No kind of shakiness going around the bend because you're kind of trying to balance the weight. It's just doing it nicely. Oh, I like that. So you know when your indicator's on. Very bright. Righty. So this does feel like quite a big scooter when you're riding it. I think it's probably because you've got this quite big dashboard in front of you. But you do feel like you're on something bigger. Most of the time with scooters you feel like you're on a really small bike. You can just whip through traffic, but this just feels a bit chunkier. But I like it. Kind of makes you feel like you're on something bigger. You feel a bit more noticeable on the road. So picking up speed from 0 to 30, yeah, you get there in an instant. It's a very nippy 125, and I like that because you need to be keeping up with traffic if you're in a busy town centre or city like we are here in Warrington. Let's do a bit of sneaking, I think. So even though it feels a bit bigger as far as scooters go, it's not really that big. It's actually a decent size for filtering and sneaking through the traffic like so. Easy peasy. And I've got a break in the rain. It's been raining today, but it seems to have stopped for now. Hopefully I can get out, get back in and keep myself dry. I can hope anyway. Yeah, I do like that actually, just off the mark. It is very, very nippy just to get away from the traffic lights. That is a good thing. There's nothing worse, is there? I find that with the really small capacity bikes, you get to the front of the queue, you sneak through all of it because you don't want to wait in it. You're on a bike, you don't have to. But then you get to the front and all you do is annoy everyone because you pull away at such a slow speed, everyone's stuck behind you. But it's not the case with this. It's quite a nippy 125. You get up to your normal road speeds very quickly. So dual carriageway bit here, 40 miles an hour. it does it with no issues. Now obviously the speed or the acceleration drops off a little bit once you get up to 40 mile an hour, but it's a 125cc. It's still increasing speed, but how far past 40 mile an hour, I just don't know. I don't know how far past it will go. So if you have got one of these or you've had one, feel free to share with everybody what top speed have you had. I'm not going to do a top speed test on this today. The road I usually use is being closed, so doing a top speed somewhere else, there's nothing to compare it to. It kind of a bit pointless. But just around these roads, around the 30-40 mile an hour roads, performance wise, yeah, it's as good as one of the better 125s. That's what I'm finding so far. It does seem to be quite nippy when you initially twist that throttle. Around the bends, glides around the bends. Comfortable bike, very comfortable. I keep saying it, very recently I've just been on an abundance of comfortable bikes. I've not been on any that I've thought, oh, I don't know about that. If you want a bike to go to and from work, and you kind of live outside a busy town, or you're just doing it to ride through a town or a city, and you're not really bothered about top speeds, you don't need to get to 70-80 mile an hour, you're just better off getting a scooter. I just think scooters are the best. They're exactly what you need. Here comes the rain, standard. These bikes are perfect for round town riding. You have got a bike like this that is really light, so you can go in and out of small spaces and get through traffic and beat the queues, and performance wise it's good enough to pull away from everybody at the front of the queue. So yeah, it's ticking a lot of boxes so far for me, this. Now, the rain. Now I know I get, well, a lot of people will always point out, oh, Japanese bike as well, you're going to get the Honda reliability. Well, yes, you are. Honda have been making bikes for a long time. Yes, they are a manufacturer that has got a very good reputation for reliability. Now, this bike in particular, I know Into Moto have only just got it in. I don't know where it's been before that. It may well have been stood for a while. So if it's been stood for a while, that might explain why this battery light's on. It's riding very nicely. It's very responsive on the throttle. The brakes are good. And you've seen the walk round. It's a lovely, lovely bike. It's spotless. Now, yes, it's getting a bit damp today. So apologies to the guys in Into Moto, because they'll have to give it a wipe down before they put it back in the showroom. But I'm actually impressed with this. You feel like you're on something a bit more substantial. And the rain is absolutely pelting me now. I don't know, I'll have to keep wiping the camera down, because I don't know if it's on the lens or not, but it is properly raining now on me. But it's alright, you know, it's still handling the conditions like a champion. And it's a scooter, so you're going straight to the front, aren't you? Woo! Town centre riding. They are the best for it, they are. The thing is, I say this a lot, it's not just the fact that they are physically narrower and lighter. It's the rev and grip, the rev and go function on them as well, because you're not having to go up and down gears, you're not constantly having to press your clutch lever in, you're not constantly having to move your foot first to second to third, back to first. They're just easy because you're not really messing with your left hand unless you're using your brakes. So they are just a really, really good option for round town riding. And I've said it many a time, at the moment for me, I can't afford another bike in the stable. However, a scooter is definitely on my wish list. When I do get the funds together, I think I will be looking at buying myself a scooter, just purely because of rides like this. It's an easy ride into town. You've got a little bit of storage to throw a shopping bag under. You don't have to take the car, do you? You can go to the shop on the scooter, and it's a nice way to do it. Now obviously today the weather's a bit crap, and I appreciate not everybody is fortunate enough to have multiple bikes and a car. I'm quite fortunate in that way. So I obviously would say, in the rain, I'd probably go to the shop in the car. I would, I'm going to admit it. However, not everybody has the option. Some people don't, and in which case you've got a bike that has storage. So if you've got a bike that has storage, it's a good one to nip to the shops on. You just have to wear your waterproofs. Yeah, do you know what, today it is a fairly quick ride on this. It's an initial impressions ride. It has only just come into moto, so I don't want to go too far afield with it, especially because that battery light's on. Now I should imagine it'll either need a new battery or just needs charging if it's been stood for a while, but it's riding perfectly as you'd expect. It's a Honda. Whoever buys this bike, I'm sure the guys at Into Moto will have sorted that out. That's a simple fix for them. As I say, it's either charge the battery, replace the battery. They'll do one or the other, I'm sure. But for an experience, for a ride, comfortable, performance is good around town. I like the looks of it, I love the comfort of it, and at a little over £3,000, it's on par with a lot of the cheaper scooters that Into Moto sell. So you can buy a cheaper scooter that's new, or you can buy this barely used Honda with 395 miles on, which is nothing, for a similar price. So what would you go for? Would you go for this? Would you go for one of the cheap ones? Let me know in the comments. That's going to do me. It's for sale at Into Moto. If you're interested, link in the description. Thank you very much, and bye for now. Laters.